plaintiff, Tommy Bear, says he and the defendant are in the magic scene, and the defendant hired Tommy to perform at a show. However, Tommy claims after he crushed it at the show, the defendant refused to pay him because he left with the defendant's girlfriend, so he's suing. Defendant Eli Sanchez says when he hired Tommy, he had no idea his performance would be raunchy and that Tommy's onstage assistant would be a sex doll. Eli claims he got complaints from several audience members who demanded refunds, and he's countersuing for defamation.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
First off, Judge, thank you for taking our case. I'm a huge Mathis head. I'm just going to start off by saying Eli and I went to high school together, and we reconnected in the Minnesota magic scene. He does basic card tricks, you know, anything you can learn on like YouTube. It's fun. It's cute. You know, it's fine. Okay, I think he's a hack, but whatever. What I do, I think it's a much higher caliber. Okay, I'm a mentalist. Okay, that's my act, which basically means one of two things. I can either read your mind or put a thought into your mind. Okay. It's more exciting. I'm funnier. Essentially, Eli is not paying me for the shows I did for him because I went home with his girlfriend that night.
We'll get into all that.
Okay,
I don't know.
and that's the real reason.
I know
okay?
a little magic myself. See my magic trick? All right. Nothing in my hand, right?
Right.
I respect that.
Come here. I see something. Come here. Hey! Quarters here all the time. I thought I saw something sticking out.
That's why I can't hear anything.
Okay. You give me some background.
Yeah, so Tommy and I, first of all, I really like magic a lot. I respect it as the art form that it is. I've been doing magic professionally for about 4 years now. And to me, what people think is birthday party magic and what you so generously just displayed for us just now, people think that that's really all magic is. But I've understood to appreciate it as the art form that it is, and to me a magician is the same thing as a singer, an actor, or someone who does dance.
It's a skill.
Yeah, absolutely. So
the skill that I have, he doesn't. I want to make that clear.
Can I? Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll get into what he does in a second. So I started a show in the Twin Cities, a monthly magic showcase where I hosted and produced it. And I brought on 2 other magicians to showcase what they do, to bring an audience in who aren't familiar with what magic can really be on stage. So I've been doing that successfully with 2 other friends for about 2 years now. And I knew Tommy. I saw him at an open mic doing what he refers to as mentalism. What I saw at the open mic, I thought was great. And so I asked him to do a doubleheader show, 2 shows in one night, and he agreed, and everything was going great up until not only did he miss his call time, 5 minutes into when he was supposed to be on stage, he wasn't there yet, and I had to fill time. And I think I'm a great improviser on stage. However, a comedian or a musician can do some stuff. I plan myself out to the second with magic. So it really kind of put a hiccup in the show, but he came on, and that's when the real issue came up, because he was incredibly raunchy, rude, borderline, 2020 standards-wise, he crossed plenty of boundaries with his...
Your Honor, I reject. I want to interrupt.
Yes.
The crowd loved what I did. Yes, it might be a little raunchy, okay? But this is a venue where alcohol is served.
I had multiple families asking for their money back after the show.
There was 200 people there and they loved it, okay? Everyone there knows that I did a fantastic job. I crushed, okay?
Did you get complaints that night?
I didn't get any complaints. I only got praise, especially from his girlfriend. I left with his girlfriend. Obviously,
you left the event with his girlfriend?
Yeah, I left the event with his girlfriend.
Why?
I don't know.
That has nothing to do with anything that we came here for. And for whatever it's worth, we're working it out, and we've moved past it.
Okay.
I could read from her body language.
He doesn't want to
into him,
discuss that. It's
me.
not relevant to the case. Now, did you give him a target demographic? Did you tell him who would be there? Did you caution him on his content? Because as you know, that comedians are in most cases, raunchy and curse and do everything else.
I agree.
Those who are most successful, unfortunately.
And a comedian would be much more respectful than what he does. He says he's a mentalist. It's more like he's a pickup artist, okay? He brought someone on stage at one point, and the climax of the trick was they were going to kiss him on the cheek, and he last minute turns and plants one on the lips. And I don't care who you are, that's not what the show is supposed to be. And so I
He can have that opinion, that's fine, but the crowd loved it. I crushed.
Well, I'm trying to find out who the audience was intended to be.
If you look on page 2.
It wasn't all ages show. If you look at page 8, that's the promotional. That is the promotional poster that our lovely graphic designer created. Yep. So that's our poster. That kind of give you a little idea as to
page 8.
The audience that it's targeting. You
Underground.
can see his name at the bottom.
Art of Magic. Tickets available. The Magic Underground. I mean, that in and of itself suggests that everything is going to go. Underground, for example, if you do underground mixtapes, underground rap, underground essentially means it's not quite ready for mainstream.
Thank you, Judge.
In some way or another. Did you interrupt? What did you do before or after or during
Absolutely.
to avoid this?
Absolutely.
Based on this, I wouldn't feel there's any reason to be restrained unless I can look in the audience and see children.
Thank you, Judge.
If I can look in the audience
Did you see
and
the kids
see
there?
children.
I
didn't see any kids there.
I used to be a youth pastor at my church, and they were there that night. And not only was his stuff raunchy, his assistant was a full-blown sex doll.
A sex doll
that he had on stage as a gag. And I like humor, and raunchy to me in the right place is fine. But to humiliate me in front of the guests that I brought, Judge,
what did he do with the sex doll on
Ask
stage?
him. It's just for a gag, okay? The
What
doll
did you do to
It's
it?
kind of like, I didn't do anything to it. The doll is there kind of like
What you got it for if you ain't doing nothing
It's
to
like
it?
a ventriloquist. You know, it's like a ventriloquist puppet. If you
Other than that.
he asked for a lot of privacy in his green room.
I
There
did not
you
do. That is
go.
a lie. That is
Why'd you need so much privacy in the green room with the sex doll?
That is not true. I had never said that. He is just lying right now.
Well, you
okay?
were in there for how long?
It's a.
didn't make the stage.
No time. I
You
went
came
from,
on the stage late? What did he?
So what you
If you
asked me,
look to
what
page
did
2,
I do?
I'm sorry. He's been talking so much.
What?
If you look to page 2, when he asked me to do the show, okay, he did not refer to anything about
Right.
being clean or whatever, and I decided to just do my act, okay? Sex doll is it's a fun gag, okay? And the audience loved it, and that's the bottom line, and that's why I deserve my pay.
And that's why we're here. Tell me, what have you been told? You're suing for $1,900.
That's
Tell
correct.
me the discussions that have went on since that time about you being paid. The night of, did he say, hey, that was too raunchy, I'm not paying you? Or was it 2 days later? Tell me the
Tell him
chronology.
after the show. Tell him about after the first show. It was 2 shows in one night.
Between the first and second show, he asked me to clean it up, but he hired me to do my act. I'm not going to change for anybody. You know, I'm going to do my thing, and if I crush the first show, I'm going to crush the second show.
I didn't ask him to clean it up. I said clean it up,
Believe
but you're
me,
not going to
sir,
get paid.
take it from someone who is not always clean, and
I hear you, Jam.
they edit it out. That no, you do have to change your act up when you're saying certain things to an audience, sir. That's not true, particularly if the person hiring you, which is the case with me, particularly if the person hires you and says in between a case, or in your case, the show, says, hey, Judge, tone it down. You're getting a little off the rail there. Or they'll call me from Warner Brothers in Los Angeles headquarters and say, Judge, we saw something you said. We're not going to be able to air it. It's a little raunchy. Would you please kind of tone it down in that area? Because these are senior citizens who are watching, and they do not understand nor accept that you and Doyle smoke weed and you talk about it on the show. So would you just please not talk about you and Doyle's habits? Stop talking about these women and all this stuff that you see and you criticize. And stop all that. You're going to get us. That's what happens with me. And I stop.
And what happens
it's
if you don't?
edited out.
But
And what if you don't? What if you didn't stop?
They'll fire me.
Okay, he didn't stop. He changed nothing between the first show and the second show.
I'm making your point.
Yeah.
That's why I was making your point to him.
He hired me He did not specify I had to be clean, and I came in with my act prepared. I'm not changing my act. As an artist, as a performer, I'm not changing my act last minute for anybody, especially if the audience likes it.
As a contractual employee providing or a business service, you do have to accommodate the person who has hired you or contracted with you. You absolutely have to change. You're providing a service. He says, stop. I don't want you to do it like that anymore. He had every right to get up and tell your sound man, run up there and whisper to him that there's children here. And he had every right to do that.
I don't even know if there was children there. I didn't see any children there. I don't know if he can prove that. Okay, I saw
children. I wouldn't say children. They were kids in high school.
Well,
like
the fact is, you told him that it was too raunchy to bring it up.
Yeah. He just said, could you clean it up a little bit?
That's
He didn't even
same thing.
He didn't seem that serious about it. I don't know.
What do you want him to slug you? What do you want him to slug you? What else did he have to do?
I don't know. If the audience is loving what you're doing, and if you're getting a great response, why stop?
But he comes and he says, hey, that's not what I want. You're going to hurt my audience, or you're hurting my objective here. My objective is to provide clean recreation. That's what I want attached to my reputation. And you have hurt my reputation on the first show, so I'm telling you now, clean it up because it hurts my reputation. That's the reason he wanted to do it, is because it's involved with his business. What did you want to say?
Well, Your Honor, I want you to look at 6 and 7 because I think it seems like you're on board with him not getting paid. However, the reason why I'm seeking $3,000 is because after he dragged me on Facebook, which is on page 2, the Twin Cities Magic community, it's a really close-knit, small community. So what people say carries a lot of weight. He put my name all across the Facebook group saying that I don't pay people and that I'm a shyster, which is ironic coming from a mentalist. And I had 2 different people back out on shows, the 2 consecutive months, which puts me out of $1,500 each show. That's $3,000 that I had to cancel shows. I had to refund money. I had to cancel shows. Everything was lined up.
I was speaking the truth. Okay, he did shice me. He didn't pay me, and so I thought it'd be nice if I let other magicians know that.
Your Honor,
okay?
I canceled 2 shows. Canceled them.
That's not my fault that I posted on Facebook, hey, this guy who hired me didn't pay me.
And where's the post at?
Only your fault. It's on 2.
It's on 2.
Because, sir, that's what folks do. They say it's a bad business, don't go to it. When they're doing reviews on services or businesses they've done business with. Now, that has to be opinion, not stated as a fact. So that's why I want to read this and see whether he was stating it as if there's no other way of looking at this, or this is my opinion of it.
You want to look at page 2 for the Facebook post of him dragging me.
Yeah, right, here it is. Fellow Twin Cities magicians, Elijah Harris has recently booked me on a show and has refused to pay me. True. Not only has he ignored multiple texts and calls, but also was trying to control and monitor my act. True. He is a terrible showrunner and a thief.
Untrue.
That's where you have a problem. That's where you have a problem, this thief. You had no knowledge or reason to believe he was a thief.
What would you call someone like him who promises money and doesn't deliver? Because that's what he did. Maybe thief might have been not the right word.
I don't know whether that's he did or not, because the question today is whether you delivered.
If you look at 7 and 6,
that's the principal reason we're here today. You're suing because you didn't get paid. He says you didn't get paid because you breached the contract by not providing him with the service he asked for.
Well, let me ask you this, Judge, really quick. Do you think he would have paid me if I didn't go home with his girlfriend? Because I think he would have. It's all about the girl.
All right, so tell me how that went down.
This isn't even part of what's happening in any way, shape, or form. To even insinuate that I would blur my professional life with what's happening in my personal life is it's insulting, and I don't think it's
Of course you would.
Merit
That's
to
his
discuss.
defense.
I don't think I was out of the normal dirty than how your shows are usually run, okay? You were like, hey, could you clean it up a little bit? You didn't seem that serious about it. You know, I didn't even think that was a big deal, okay? This whole not paying business is because I went home with his girlfriend. And then after that, look, I'm not even saying it's a great thing I did.
Did he mention his girlfriend when he came to you during the middle of the show? No. He said, clean it up because you're tainting my show
He did not
with your
say that.
vulgarity. It's the same thing when you say clean it up. Your defamation, sir, it's a conclusion, and he stated it as a fact, not as an opinion. He said, you are a thief. That's different than saying you did not pay, you don't pay. You could have even called him a deadbeat, because that suggests that he's not paying a bill. But to suggest that he stole from you, calling the man a thief, is a whole nother level. With regard to your agreement, I am going to conclude that his defense is proper, and that is you did not adjust your show to his request. And you keep saying that. You keep saying that I don't have to change my show. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. When your employer or the person who your contractual principal says, nope, that's not what I expected out of you. I want you to do this because you're tainting my reputation as a businessman, you have to do it. You should have told him, I can't. I don't know what else to say. I only have this one routine.
Do you think that's okay to do that in the middle of the show?
It wasn't the middle of the show. It was the second show.
The second show, and not in the beginning.
Second is not the middle. Have a good day.
Act.
Your claim is dismissed. Your defamation, I'm going to grant you $1,000 for when he concluded and stated affirmatively that you were a thief. Have a good day. That's my judgment.
Yeah, I'm calling Stacy after this. I'll tell you that much.
I honestly feel bad for you, and I just think you're a true loser.